Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Swapnil Pote. You're watching Night 2.5. So, from today, we will begin the best game ever played series. And today, we will start from the World Woman Champion, a fantastic woman player, Judit Polgar. She was ranked 8, has the peak rank of her at her career rating, like it she reached till 8 rank, and also she was world woman number 1 from 1991 till 2014 till she retired. So when she retired, till then she was world number 1 on women section. Also she was world number 8 at her peak. And this game we will see where she beat Shirov. Shirov was like at that time world number 3 and was one of the candidate for the championship. So he opened pawn to e4, c5 Sicilian defense, knight to f3, and pawn to e6, pawn to d4, c into d4, knight into d4, open Sicilian, knight c6. Now many variation can be played like double knight Sicilian and classical Sicilian. Also by playing d7, d6 you can play Scandinavian Sicilian. Many Sicilian can be played from here. Knight to c3, d6, Scandinavian type. And now Shirov played a very surprising move here, which is pawn to g4. It is very deep prepared. No one else played it before that. So pawn to a6, bishop to e3, knight g e7. I think this move is simply brilliant, knight to g e7, because if you develop your knight to like f6, the threat is pawn to g4. Therefore, the pawn has been advanced to g4. Like it is not a mouse slip like g3. Yeah, it is advanced to g4 just because after knight to f6 you can push your pawn and control this f6 square. And if we see this knight to e7 move more further, you will understand that this knight is fighting for the dark square, because a pawn on the on this square, it is like this pawn is on the light square, so it just control this light square. There's no control like on this black square. These squares are weakened, so more the pieces will be there from black side. Therefore we say that dark squares are important in Sicilian. So knight to b3, this is the knight to b3 is very common move, because knight on d4 keeps the tension. There is always knight takes d4 and then pawn push to like e4 and many more. So Shiro just takes off the pressure from knight to b3 and f4, sorry, b5. And the thing with b5 is, like, now white wants to play, like, you can cut now this board on two sides. Now Judith is trying to attack on queen side, and black and white has already expanded on the white side. Pawn to f4, we can see now Shiro is expanding very aggressively. Bishop to b7 and queen to f3. The main idea in this Sicilian is to play to queen to d2 long castle. But as we see now, Alexey Shiro is very furious and he wants to attack. So he just go simply crazy. And I would like you I would like to ask this question to you. What Judith would have been played? This is a very nice move, and I think there's some continuation of this move. Basically, this is a very long combination, and I think this is one of my best favorite combination. So she played pawn to g5, and the thing here is you can't play first. The thing we will see which can't be played. So if pawn to f5, then knight to e5, and if you suppose save your queen on e2 something, so pawn to b4, kicking this knight away, knight to a4. And the thing is, the trick is basically you can't take this pawn right now. Suppose if you take this pawn on e4, there is bishop to b6, and basically to do this with your move, there is a concept of intermediate move, and you can play it like bishop to c6. The thing is, you are attacking this knight, and once the knight is saved, you will go after this pawn. Suppose the only square is for the knight is knight to b6. So after knight to b6, you can take this pawn, and the thing is, white is attacking this rook, but does the black is attacking this rook, and also the knight is jumping, and black attack is simply very aggressive and furious. So this variation of f6, sorry, f5 can't be played. So I will go to f5. So f5 can't be played, so f5 discarded. So the best move here is basically long castle and play on, like there may be ideas of something like bishop to c4, or another piece can jump on c4, because this pawn is pinned. You can't take the piece here because the pawn is pinned for the queen. So basically this is the basic idea, but Shirov went for pawn takes, and now you will see the combination after f into g5, knight e5. Basically you want this central control, so you sacrifice this pawn. You will see many such moves now here from. Then queen to g2, and now another move came, which is very subtle. Like everything is happening on this side, yeah? On the king side of the board, on this side of the board. And now Judith realizes, okay, this knight is weak. I can push pawn to b4 and kick away this knight. So she did the same. So realizing that the game can be played from both the side of the board. So pawn to b4, knight to e2, and now another brilliant move. I would like you to stop this moment and like just imagine what she would have been played here. It's very difficult, and if you have found it, you are very genius, I will say. So pawn to h5 is the move. The point is you can't upper saw, because if you take this pawn, I can play knight to g6, and something like after knight to d2, there is queen h4 check. This diagonal is just crazy, and anything can happen. So now the combination is still moving, yeah. So obviously Shiro realizes it. Also now, still now the best move is long castle, but he didn't play here also. He just, okay, Judith is giving me material, I should grab it, yeah. Let's see what her attack will be. So he plays g into h5, and now the combinations again go further. So knight to f5, because this pawn is pinned to this queen, you can't take it, otherwise your queen will be lost. But okay, you can't take it, but you have to take it. Shiro here played bishop to f2, but the better move was to take this knight, give away this queen, and then you will have two pieces for the queen, also two pawns. So you are simply just 1 point down. Okay, obviously you are losing, but if you try to coordinate your pieces and all, if you try to bring the harmony in your pieces, you can still draw it. But what Shiro played, like bishop to f2, was just simply a dubious move, because after this a very nice move came, knight queen into g5. And the point is, you can't take my queen here, because suppose if he takes, then I can give this check, and you have to move your king, and I can take the queen. But then you will say this knight is hanging. So if you take my knight, the bishop is attacking the rook, and you will lose the exchange. So basically, the thing is, after this variation, like Judith has already gained what she had gave, and again now she is with shattering the king side structure of Alexey Shirov, and this is simply brilliant chess. So queen into g5, knight a5, and now another brilliant move, knight e3, and now Shirov tried to play solid because obviously you can't take this knight, otherwise this is simply winning for black, because simply this knight f3 check is coming and you have to give your queen, because like suppose we can play some simple move, and now this is the thing, if you move your queen king, then I will just checkmate you like this, or else you have to give your queen. So this is not working, so I will say this was simply not a good move. Queen to g3 playing solid, and now queen, this is very solid way to play. Another way can be like okay, simply Judith want to simplify, so she took with the queen, but what engine suggests here is knight takes pawn on c2, king d1, and now you have to guess the move. Okay, all will play this queen takes queen, but engine is suggesting queen into hy, and basically you can't take this knight, because after rook check, the things are simply falling, and okay, sooner or later it will be a checkmate. So Judith just simplified this by taking this queen and winning a exchange. Now the thing is, okay, you have won a exchange, like now you have knight for the uh, rook, but now the thing is, your knight is on the knight on a1 will be on a rescue mission. So Judith has to first rescue the knight and then she will be exchanger. So after knight into a1, so after this Judith take knight into b7, and now the thing is, you have to rescue the knight, so pawn to b3. This is simply brilliant move, because if you move your pawn to a3 suppose, then my knight will come from c2, and if you just take it, my knight will just take that pawn. So a into b3, knight into b3, king c2, knight c5, simplifying the position. Suppose you have to take it, because otherwise if you move your knight, then my rook is swinging in and everything is falling apart. So Judith forces Alexei Shirov to take that knight. So knight into c5, d into c5, bishop e1, knight f3 attacking the bishop, bishop c3, knight d4 check, and now this knight is very solid, so you have to exchange this knight simply, but Alexei Shirov play king to d3, bishop to d6. Plan is to play bishop to e4 and centralize all your pieces. So bishop to g2, bishop to e5, king to c4, king to e7, and the thing is you can't take this pawn, because simply then all the pieces will come up, and these four pieces will just give a mate to white king. So king to, after king to e7, rook a1, a desperate move, and then knight to c4, trying to exchange this bishop, and if you don't exchange, the plan is I will take this knight and the pawn is free. So Alexei Shirov here resign. Okay, so the thing is, like Judith has beat Kasparov also, but why this game is favorite, because this all things, first you develop your knight on e7, the idea of developing e7 is simply brilliant. Also after giving these pawns here and not allowing aposo, and everything is very crucial. Hope you like my content. If you enjoyed it, please do like, share and subscribe, and also hit that bell icon to get regular notification. Thank you.